I would say I have had various opportunities to do that, being an educator in Newark. I mean, first of all, in a classroom as a teacher, trying to just manage those young people in the classroom and the things that you have to do is a very daunting task in and of itself, to be able to do that and be able to impart information on kids that sometimes are not interested or don't want to know what you're giving them. So it's important to be able to manage that in a way. And so they even call it classroom management, right? To be able to manage daily procedures and the people and their parents. But when I became a vice principal and a principal, then I really began to understand what management was really about, because not only do you have to manage the children and their parents, you have to manage dozens of teachers, hundreds of teachers, if you will, aides, guidance counselors, cafeteria workers, security guards, the custodial staff. And so the principal, to me, is probably like one of the most difficult jobs to have in America. And I think an urban principal is probably up there with the top 5 difficult things to do, difficult professions, because you're responsible for everything. I mean, in the school, so when the state says we have to cut the budget, and people don't understand really what that means. So if they tell you you have to cut $5 million, you can't just cut paper and supplies, because that's not going to get you the money you need. So we arguing even in the municipal election about the kind of fiscal crisis the city is in. And so if you have a $40, $50 million gap, you can't just focus on small things. That means bodies, it means people. So in schools, it might mean a science teacher, it might mean a librarian, it might mean a guidance counselor. It might mean the basketball coach, right? So these are things that you have to make decisions about. In a municipal government, it might mean code enforcement, it might mean police officers, it might mean sanitation workers, which in fact the previous mayor had to make those decisions. So I didn't vote to cut the police officers, the 170, but I understand why that decision was on the table. The MUA, the privatization or selling of the water versus 40%, 30% tax increases versus laying off 170 cops or 800 employees as a whole, is centered around you have to balance the budget, and the numbers that you have to balance are huge numbers. And ultimately, you have to find ways to raise revenue for the city.